Now, last week, some drama broke down, and it was broken down by the tea, the source of the tea themselves. We're speaking about none other than Koku Luanga, who is and has been married to Daddy Mato for a while. We know Daddy Mato as this social media influencer. He's an actor. He does a lot, really. He's a celebrity.
Moderator.
Yes, he does a
Actor,
lot.
content
He's an
creator.
MC. He pretty much is a jack of all trades in the entertainment industry, so we will call him a prominent celebrity in the industry. Now, of course, Daddy Bato has this beautiful woman who's called Koku Luanga as his wife. And we didn't know that the two of them had even separated. We had no idea what was going on in the relationship until Koku said, enough is enough. Apparently, according to her story, I will paraphrase, she was mad. She was really, really mad because she was, I don't know, doing dishes or whatever. She saw her ex who has, first of all,
separated
they've been
husband.
separated for a bit, right? So they've been separated for a little while, and he ended up getting a small office in the form of an apartment close to the same building, within the same building, in fact, so that he could be able to have access to his children and work and all of these other things. Basically, he has an apartment come office in the same building during this separation of theirs. Now, she sees him going up the stairs with a lady, and she decides, ayo, you can't just be bringing shorties up in this house, up in this building, when your children are literally a few steps away. Like, they will see you and this woman in this building. Like, what are we supposed to tell them? You know, like, how do we deal with that particular issue? So she steps out and goes to knock at the door to confront him and tell him her opinions. Knocks at the door, no response. Eventually, he opens and an argument ensues, and they end up having a really, really heavy argument. And according to her, allegedly, he then started beating her up, like kicking her to the ground, continued to beat her up so much that the neighbors were shouting, hey, stop, please stop doing that. So that was the story that she gave us. But then she decided to give us a lot more receipts, including her many times quoted statement, which is, I can't believe that this is happening to me. I can't believe that you would do this to me. I was once the beautiful woman that you are. Speaking to the other woman, saying on this very many messages that she put up on her social media stories, she was like, yes, you bring yourself out. Let's see your face, you know. Stop hiding. You know, if you're going to sleep with a married man, sleep with him. Be confident enough to show your face and stuff like that. And I'm like, aren't you all separated? Okay, let's continue. Anyway, she went on to have a tirade of many words that pretty much sum up to, she was young and beautiful once. He took away everything. He's using the money that they're supposed to be using for their children and taking care of their children to pay for these dates and whatever else shenanigans that he's having with this other person. She then says that, how dare you, when I ask you for money for food, you say you don't have any money, but yet you have money to bring these girls over to your house, and yet you want me to account for every single cent that I use in this household, like every single shilling, I have to account for it. She went on to say that I was young, I was beautiful. When I got pregnant, he started hating me, and instead of you going with me to therapy, as I had many times said we should do, you said, no, everything is okay, even when I knew everything was not okay, and you rejected therapy, you hated me, I don't even know whether you loved me to begin with, and so on and so forth. She had a lot to say, to be entirely honest, when it came to this relationship, as anyone would. Like, when you separate with someone, it's one thing, but when you separate with someone and you see them moving on, like, they just move on, what do you mean you're just moving on? Like, I am trying and hoping that you can reconcile. Anyway, long story short, Daddy Bato decided to actually come clean and give a few statements of his own, which were basically, he said, according to him, I do not condone violence of any kind, physical, emotional, or psychological. I also unequivocally reject being the subject of false and harmful accusations. Continue to say that, and these are significantly distorted and one-sided pictures of events. He said, with integrity and discipline and respect for all, he confirms that none of this is true. And he said that the decision to address the matter through legal channels has been wiffle waffling simply because of the dignity, integrity, and respect for all. Yeah, and Koku had said that wasn't rage, that was just pain. Her being kicked in the head, in the neck, in the back, and laying on the ground. Her having these, images of bruises all across her back. I don't know. She said, I remember this was the quote that kind of hit home for me. She said, I could hear you look beautiful. I couldn't hear you look beautiful from you. You'd say I look haggard at home. Let's see you go through pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum and look exquisite every single day. Anyway, look, it is a difficult conversation whenever two people end up separating. It's a difficult conversation, especially if this is fault lies heavily on one person. Like Daddy Marto, if this is true, if you not only beat her up to the point where neighbors are seeing this, forget that. The violence, the physical violence is one thing. The financial abuse as well, of you having to make someone, a partner, the mother of your children, account for every single shilling that she uses in that household to feed your children. That is wild. And then you're saying there's no psychological trauma or psychological abuse, but what is that? Like you moving to the house next to me or near me and then bringing your tirade of women that now I have to hear you and your sexual sounds coming through like that's wild. That is, I don't even, it's villainous. Why would you do this to someone after then putting them through all of these things? Like this woman went through postpartum depression. You were nowhere to be seen. You ghosted this person as they were bringing life into this world that came from your seed. For me, it's unforgivable. It's absolutely unforgivable. You can leave, she can't. She has your children to raise. She can't leave. You can leave. Where's I don't know. These separation stories just break my heart every single time we see one. I'm just like, oh God.
This happened Sunday.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it's my friend who posted on her story and said, I just saw Kuku's stories and I had a nightmare. I was like, hey, what's happening? So I go on her page and I read through the stories and my heart just dropped. I just felt for her. Because honestly, you could do everything for somebody and it could still not be enough. That's the thing that really stood out for me. The fact that this girl would do her own hair, because, we are working towards something. The fact that I'm not bringing in as much income as you means I have to be small. She would bake birthday cakes for her household, bake cakes for him, and then he would go and in the DMs laugh with girls and say, she never makes me anything special. It's just homemade goods. Like you've resented someone so much. I can't even explain it, but the whole time I was just mad. And then followed by pictures of her and the bruises on her back. So on top of all of this, do you know this woman gave birth to your child in the back seat of a car? There's nothing this babe has not done for you. She's held you down. She's been ride or die. You can't even fault her for anything. You fault her for being haggard. Do you remember when they were coming up, when they used to do the skits with that other couple? I think they used to be neighbors. They've really come from far. And now that your brand ambassador, global moderator with her name, you're now feeling like
do you know how sad it is that she started this natural hair care journey and we thought, oh my God, such good content.
Whole
time this girl was doing it because she had no money.
And the fact that, now that her kids are a bit older, they can now be under the nanny. So she decides to go back to what she loves, which is tech. And she goes back and is now an intern at a tech company. And she's only being paid 26,000 Kenya shillings. And from that, he knows what she earns. He is expecting her to contribute 20,000 to rent now that he has moved out, because... Yeah, he is now expecting her to contribute 20,000 when he knows exactly what she makes. So honestly, a man will live in the desert without water. Kanye Mbao was not wrong. I saw that story and
I couldn't read through all of it. It was so sad.
Page for page. And then on top of that, the absentee father-in-law comes in and starts calling her pathetic. What do you mean? So on top of your kicks and abuse and everything, you have left me well and good. You're now bringing women around my children and women in front of me. Okay. Now your father is also abusing me.
You're collecting people on your side. That's crazy.
And you don't even apologize. You pick up an AI statement and plaster it on. Hey. Anyway.